The Mirror's Curse, Reflections of the Lost. After the legend of the Vanishing Road, another mystery emerged in Hollow Creek. It was about an antique mirror kept in the old Maplewood mansion. The mansion had been abandoned for decades, its windows shattered and walls crumbling. Locals claimed that anyone who looked into the mirror would see more than their reflection. They would see faces staring back, faces that didn't belong to them. These faces were pale, hollow-eyed, and filled with silent despair. It was said that they were the souls of those who vanished in Hollow Creek. Trapped in the mirror's glass, they watched the living, desperate to escape. The curse began in 1925 when the mansion's owner, Lena Maplewood, disappeared. She was last seen standing before the mirror, brushing her hair. Her husband found the room empty, her hairbrush lying on the floor. Frantically, he searched the entire house, but Alina was gone. No footprints, no signs of struggle, just a cold, silent mirror. When he looked into its surface, he saw her face staring back. Her eyes were wide with fear, her mouth open in a silent scream. Panicked, he smashed the mirror, but the glass didn't break. Instead, a cold wind blew through the room, and he heard her voice. "Help me. It won't let me go," she whispered, fading into the shadows. After that night, he never entered the room again, sealing it shut. He left the mansion, unable to bear the guilt of losing her. Years later, the house was sold, and the new owners found the mirror. Curious about its beauty, they placed it in the hallway, unaware of its curse. Within days, their young son started talking to someone unseen. He said he was playing with a lady who cried behind the glass. His parents dismissed it as imaginary, but he grew more withdrawn. One night, they heard him laughing and went to check on him. He stood before the mirror, his hand pressed against the glass. His reflection smiled, but his real face was blank, emotionless. Terrified, they pulled him away, but his reflection didn't move. It stayed there, grinning wickedly, even as they fled the house. They sold the mansion, leaving the cursed mirror behind. Over the years, the house was abandoned, but the mirror remained. Teenagers dared each other to look into its haunted glass. Some saw nothing, but others saw faces that shouldn't exist. One girl claimed she saw herself, older and crying for help. Another boy saw a shadow standing behind him, hollow-eyed and cold. The legend spread that the mirror showed your fate or trapped your soul. Dr. Monroe's research mentioned the mirror as a temporal anomaly. She believed it reflected alternate timelines, showing lost possibilities. Her notes suggested the mirror was connected to the temporal void. Those who saw themselves trapped were seeing their future in the void. Determined to understand its power, she visited the mansion alone. She recorded her observations, standing before the mirror at midnight. Her notes described seeing herself eyes wide with horror. Her reflection spoke, warning her to leave before it was too late. It whispered, "It feeds on time, on who you could have been." She reached out, and her reflection grabbed her hand, cold as death. The recording ended abruptly, her notes scattered on the floor. She was never seen again, her face sealed within the mirror's glass. Locals believe she became one of the lost souls, watching from within. The mansion is now considered cursed, its windows reflecting empty rooms. No one dares to enter, fearing the mirror's pull on their souls. Some nights, faces appear in the glass, silently screaming for release. Shadows of the lost walk the halls, echoing memories of the past. Their voices whisper through the walls, begging for freedom from the curse. In 2085, the mirror will show itself again, seeking new souls to trap. Will anyone be brave enough to face their own reflection? Or will the mirror continue to feed on lost time and forgotten lives? Do you believe the mirror shows alternate timelines or traps souls forever? Subscribe for more terrifying legends and mind-bending mysteries.